Book 3. The group could have been ambushed, but luckily and unbeknownst to them, two goddesses, Hera and Athena, saw it. They had a talk and settled on a plan. Eros was to fire one of his arrows at Medea, the daughter of King Aeetes, so that she falls in love with Jason and helps him recover the Golden Fleece. She was powerful, she will help. They agree on this, and the plan is ready. Back with the Argonauts, Jason is suggesting going to Aeetes' palace with the sons of Phrixus and Telamon first, to see whether their king will treat them as friends or foes. It would be useless to attack first without trying to talk it out. With the wand of Hermes in hand, they went. They passed through trees where the dead hung from their branches wrapped in ox hides, as Colchians didn't bury their dead in the ground. They entered a palace which was equipped with marvels made by Hephaestus, like springs of milk and oil, bowls of bronze that breathed fire, and to top it all off, a plow of steel. Medea was first to notice the strangers in the palace. Everyone started working, preparing sacrifices, baths, food, and in the chaos of it all, Eros shot his arrow at Medea and she couldn't keep her eyes off Jason. Questions were asked, especially to the sons of Phrixus, as they returned home quite sooner than expected. Argus talked with King Aeetes and told him everything about Jason and his quest for the Golden Fleece. Now, King Aeetes did not like that. As soon as Argus finished talking, he burst out in a fury. "Get out of my sight," he cried. "I wish I killed you before I gave you food. Leave and don't come back." Telamon wanted to throw hands, but Jason stopped him and spoke. They didn't come to seize his throne or anything. They were willing to pay in service for the Golden Fleece. King Aeetes wasn't convinced though at all and wished to kill them on the spot. But what if he tests them first, just to put their power to proof? As I mentioned the marvels of Hephaestus, Aeetes has a pair of fire-breathing bulls. With them he plows the field and sows teeth of a monstrous serpent which grow into soldiers who he after that kills. Just an everyday hobby for an old man. If Jason can do the same, then he will give him the fleece. And Jason had no other option than to agree to this test. He's doing all of this for a request of a foreign king. Ridiculous. They left the palace, only Argus from the sons of Phrixus joining them. Other sons stayed at the palace. As Jason passed Medea, her heart yearned for him. Medea prayed to Hecate. The man was walking to his death. Save him. As they got further from the city, Argus suggested to get help of a certain witch of Hecate. If Jason agrees, which he immediately did, I don't think anybody is beating fire-breathing bulls without help. They reached the Argo and Jason told everybody of his task. Peleus, Telamon, and others immediately offered themselves for the challenge, but thanks to a divine sign, they knew that they should use help of magic. They rowed the Argo out to the dry land, not hiding anymore. In the meantime, Aeetes gathered his Colchians and told them to burn the ship down as soon as the bulls killed the man who tried to tame them. Argus sneaked into the palace to beg his mom to persuade Medea to help them. Lucky for them, Medea herself wanted to help the lovely stranger after having some strange dreams herself. She wept as she didn't know what to do until her sister Chalciope heard it and came to her aid. They both wanted the same thing for different reasons. Chalciope wanted to save her sons, and Medea wanted to save her handsome, doomed stranger. At last she promised to help her sister, but remained conflicted herself. Will she help the stranger and give him the charm to tame the bulls? Will she go against the wishes of her father? How does she help him without being found out? At dawn, Medea had a carriage prepared to take her to a temple of Hecate, and from her box of herbs she took one named after Prometheus, created by his blood. If smeared on the body, its user will be invulnerable by sword or fire, and they will gain an incredible strength. Medea drove to the place as she was supposed to meet with Jason, as Argus instructed him, hearing it from his mom. I know, it's a bit convoluted. Jason was on his way, all perked up and handsome thanks to Hera's help. Soon they were alone in the temple, too close to each other. Jason pleaded for help from Medea, to which she just smiled and gave him the charm. She enjoyed that he needed her so much, how he talked to her. They were both a little flustered, but Medea picked herself up and told Jason about her plan. When Aeetes gave Jason the teeth, he should wait until midnight and bathe in an ever-running river. After that, sacrifice a sheep to Hecate in a pit, and after that he should go forward and not look behind him. In the morning he should melt the charm and use it as an ointment for his body. It will feel great, but beware, it's only up for a day. After all that's done and he has sown the teeth and the giants start to spring up, he needs to throw a boulder in the middle of them. They will start attacking it, and then they can be killed off easily. After that, he can get the golden fleece, and wish whoosh, Jason would be on his way home. Medea couldn't hold her tears imagining Jason sailing off, and Jason seeing her like that realized that he may also have a thing for her. She asked him to just remember her name when they sail back. He would never forget her. He wanted to take her to Hellas with him, to take her to his home. But for now, they had to part ways. The night passed, and in the morning, the serpent teeth were fetched by two of the Argonauts from King Aeetes himself. In the evening, Jason sneaked off to follow Medea's guidance and activate the charm. It was done. By dawn, King Aeetes, all dressed up, drove to witness the contest. The charm from Medea worked perfectly, and the Argo rode to the plain of Ares, where the test would take place. Aeetes was already waiting there. There stood the bronze yoke for the bulls, as well as the steel plow. From earth itself the bulls appeared, breathing fire. Jason quickly protected himself with a shield and survived thanks to Medea's magic. Slowly but surely, Jason held and bent down both bulls, holding them by the horns, his shield down. Castor and Polydeuces passed Jason the yoke, which he bound to the bulls, and with his spears he picked up. He pricked the bulls, his hand staying on the steel plow. Jason worked the bulls, sewing the teeth at a safe distance from himself. Once done, the bulls were freed and chewed off, like normal animals. Not even a minute later after that, the earth-born warriors from Teeth shot up from the ground. But, just as instructed, Jason picked up a giant boulder and threw it in the middle, he himself hiding behind a shield. The men started slaying themselves near the boulder, confused. Jason then waited for nothing, jumped into the hurdle and started slashing with his sword, killing all. The task was done, just as the sun sank beneath the horizon, and the bitter King Aeetes returned to his city.